Hey everybody, live, Bunker Live episode 2 of the day. Today, this evening, I'm just going to be doing some cigar rolling. I am here. If you have questions or comments or anything you want to talk about, I've just got the laptop over here on the rolling table. So I just kind of started rolling again a couple of weeks ago, and I had to take a whole week off. So I'm kind of getting back into it. And I'm going to roll a couple of cigars. The first one I'm going to do is just going to be a free roll from start to end to show you the whole process. I'm not going to use the mold. I'm just going to do a free roll. It's not going to be pretty. It's not designed to be pretty. Later on, I'll do one with the mold. That'll be a lot prettier. But so I'm starting here with a binder leaf. Hello, Colt. Anybody else out there say hello? I'm on live right now. So I'm starting here with a binder leaf. And it's a leaf, man. It's a leaf of tobacco. It's been cured. This is a nice Dominican, I think, olor. And the first thing I'm going to do is prepare this this binder. So the first roll I'm going to do is just a free roll. This is the way I make them for the ones that I smoke. This is the way all real rollers do them for the way they smoke. They don't do it for all the aesthetics. They do it because it's easy and fast and it works. And so that's what I'm going to do. And then after that, I'll do a couple with the mold, which is more like your commercial style cigars. All right, so this is my binder leaf. I'm going to use the whole leaf, both sides. And this is the first of the 3 types of tobacco that I'll be using. This is the binder, so we use one whole leaf. Next, we're going to do is what's called bunching, which is to take our filler tobacco. Now, these you'll see, we didn't de-stem this all the way down. It's de-stemmed from here down, so it looks kind of like a frog. They call these frogs or Star Trek insignias. They don't call them that. It's usually called a frog. So what I'm going to do now is called intubado method, which is a old school Cuban rolling method of bunching. So this is my filler tobacco. Then I've got one piece of filler tobacco here. You can see is darker. This is the Ligero leaf, which is where you get your heavier, darker, spicier type of smoke. And that goes in the middle. If anybody's out there, hello, Hava, good to see you. Anybody has questions, comments, anything you want to talk about? I don't care. I really kind of do, but I don't. All right. I'll be looking down while I'm rolling, but I'll look up and look at the comments every once in a while. Again, this first one's just going to be a free roll. By free roll, I mean I'm going to roll a whole cigar from scratch, start to end. I'm not going to use a mold. I'm not going to do any other process that would make it more aesthetically for commercial use. This is the way cigar rollers who are rollers generally make their own cigars. It's still not going to be ugly, but I'm not going to use the mold. This is just what we call a free roll. I'm just going by. I'm gauging it by hand instead of using the mold. All right, so I got my bunch here, and the person who usually does the bunching is called a bunchero, which is kind of like bunker. All right, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bind this with this binder. This is the tricky part, and this is where most people fail, and it takes many years to get this right. And so we're going to bind this bunch, and it'll end up looking somewhat like a cigar, even though it's not the final product, like a really, really long cigar. If anybody has any questions, comments, topics, something you want to talk about, feel free to hit me up. This longer tobacco that I cut off I put it over here, and I'll use it in one of the next cigars. All right, so now I've got my bunch. This is basically the cigar without the nice pretty wrapper on it. The wrapping is where the art comes in. So that's what we're going to do next, is put a wrapper on this. I have pre-prepared this wrapper leaf so that it's the proper moisture so that it rolls and stretches well. And that's kind of what gives you that nice finished look. Again, I'm not going to be putting this one in the mold, so it's not going to be as pretty as the commercial cigars, even the cigars that I make. This is just one I would be, if I was sitting at home as I am, rolling for myself, this is how I would do it. If I was going to sit down as I am and probably watch an old 40s movie and then time travel a little bit, this is the way I would do it. Do you have any thoughts on the COVID situation in India? My husband's friend passed away there in New Delhi. He had already been vaccinated. His wife and children are still recuperating. I don't have any thoughts on it just because I don't know enough about it. I just don't. I've kind of turned off all of that. And I don't believe anything I see or hear in the media. I just kind of turned it all off. Good evening, Daniel Carr. Needing more salt than you can imagine. Why so? I get the preserving food part, but are there more things? Yeah, because first of all, if things got bad, you'd be preserving more meat than you can imagine. It's not just meat. It's preserving all types of food. But you're also going to want some for barter. You can use it for cleaning supplies, for sterilizing things. You need buckets of salt water if you're going to have to, and you could be forced to butcher in warm weather without refrigeration. Just there's so many places that you would need it that you don't fathom right now because you don't live this life, that it's impossible for you to imagine how much you would need it. That was my point. You would need more than you could imagine because if you had to think about all of the food that your family would require needing to be preserved, fermented, salted, cured, if you think about cleaning, we clean wood surfaces like this with salt. And so it is literally more than you can imagine. If you happen to get a deer, it happens to be warm temperatures, you can't butcher it and put it in the refrigerator or the freezer. You would need to be able to salt that meat very quickly, and that would take a lot of meat. Regardless if there's some idiots making a joke saying, "Oh, I can do a whole cow with a pinch of salt." You can't. It takes a lot. All right, so I got my quickie cigar here. And then I'm going to do a couple out of the mold. That'll be a little bit more commercial. What I did on this one, when I smoked it for myself, I just put a little pigtail on at the top. They are a little lumpy, a little bumpy, not as pretty because they didn't come out of the mold, but smoked just fine. So there's a little veiny up here, but this is not really, really great wrapper. It's good wrapper, but it's not really, really great. All right, so I got a little twisty up here, so I'm going to go ahead and light this one up. Good draw. So in Cuban roller or me or somebody is rolling stuff that you just got off the table, it's going to be a little bit more moist, higher humidity than what you would normally smoke out of your humidor. And so it might burn a little bit goofier sometimes, not always. It'll also burn a lot slower and a lot cooler, which is nice. This here could take me hours. I probably won't even smoke half of it tonight. Is there a standard measure of salt needed to preserve meat? There are a couple of really good books that I would recommend if I could see them. Look up a book by Michael Ruhlman, Ruhlman, on curing meat. If you want like the actual amount, basically for most foods, if you can float an egg in it, if an egg will float, then it's got enough salt for it to cure and preserve for a brine. Now, if you're not going to use a brine, if you're actually just rubbing the salt into it, you just have to make sure you get it really, really well coated, that you're getting meat into salt into all the little crevices and everywhere where especially where the bone is close to the meat. You need to get a lot of salt in there. But yeah, there are rules for stuff like that. I kind of, after doing it this long, just do it by sight and feel. But yeah, get a book by Michael. I think there's a book by Michael Ruhlman, and then there's another book. I may have it up here. Hold on. Stanley Mariansky and Adam Mariansky, Home Production of Quality Meats and Sausages. That has a lot of Home Production of Quality Meats and Sausages by Stanley Mariansky. If someone wants to look that up and then just put it here in the comment section, that would be great. And if it's later, after this is no longer live, if somebody will just put it in the comment section, put a link where people can get that book if they want it. Have you waxed cheese? Yes, I have. I'm not an expert in waxing cheese. There are better videos you get from people on YouTube. I have waxed cheese before, and I just got cheese wax. But, of course, if you were in a grid down type of situation, survival situation, you need to be getting wax candles from bees, from whatever you can get it from. But I would look on YouTube because they're going to have better answers than me. I've done it maybe once or twice, but I'm not an expert on it. All right, while we're talking, I'm going to start wrapping some that I did earlier and put in the mold. I know they have specific waxes they use for commercial cheeses, but I think in the kind of situation where you're off grid and trying to survive, you just do what you could do. All right, so I call these bullets, which is just a cigar that I rolled earlier, and then I put it in the mold. It's been in the mold an hour or so. So I'm going to wrap this. These aren't going to be perfect. I'm doing them. It's dark in here, but it'll kind of give you the gist, the idea of how they're supposed to look and all of that. Meantime, if you have more questions on anything you want to talk about, throw them out here. I'll do what I can do. These are all 100% tobacco, no chemicals, no sprayed additives. Yes, I have grown my own tobacco before. Yes, I have cured it and made cigars from it. So I just lost one light. I don't know why that is. Well, hopefully I've still got internet. I don't know if I've got internet or not. If I do, this is going to last as long as it lasts. It may go out. We'll see. I lost my light. I think I lost some of my power. I was using about 2 different power sources. So I think I lost some of my power. That's just the way this life is, man. If it was just me and I wasn't doing this video, I'd light this lantern and I'd just keep rolling. Kerosene lantern right here. This light here that's shining on me is the battery light. All right, let's see what we can do with this one. You guys let me know I'm still on. All right, good to know. Okay, I got a rip here. It's going to make this a little bit more difficult. We're just going to roll past it. This wrapper, it's not bad wrapper. It's just a little heavily veined. And there are tricks you can do to get rid of those veins. If I was selling these commercially, that I know how to do, but I don't care. It doesn't bother me that much. Oh, you guys can still see because it's pretty dark in here. I think it looks lighter than it is. It's pretty dark in here. And I'm going to do a Cuban triple cap on this too. All right. Like I said, these aren't going to be the best product I can put out for a number of reasons. Not the least of which is I've only been back at it a couple of weeks. And this is a art that takes many years to get good at. I mean, you can roll a cigar in a couple of days, but it takes many years to get good at it. Like 25 years. All right, so I'm going to put a triple cap on this, and we use the same leaf because we want the color to match. If I'm not answering you, I will get to your questions when I can. I got to look down at my artwork as I'm arting. All right. This is basically an aesthetic thing that they do with commercial cigars historically to it's supposedly to keep the cigar from unrolling, but if it's wrapped well, it won't unroll. And it's actually more for aesthetics, and they give it a finished, nice look to it. And then we got one more. That's the second part of the cap. And then we got one more, which is the very cap, and it's got to come from the thinnest part of the leaf. All right. The adhesive is what I use is pectin, fruit pectin, but and I have some here. The professionals use gum arabic or something like that, which is a tree gum. It's all 100% natural. I just use fruit pectin because it's cheap and it's easy to buy and it works really well. But I've used gum arabic before. Same thing, really. And it dries perfectly clear, perfectly tasteless, perfectly. It doesn't add anything. It's basically gone after it does its job. And so That's kind of cool. All right, my cutter is a little bit dull. I'm saving up money to get a bench cutter, a nice sharp bench cutter, but I don't have one right now. So this is what I have, and it's a little dull. So I end up trimming up the edges a little bit. It is dark in here. All right. All right. Let's see if I can get this in the camera. This lighting is not really good. It makes it look horrible. But and like I said, this wrapper is a little veiny. There's ways you can remove that while you're rolling, but it's just another step. It's not bad. This lighting is not good. It's not flattering for me or the cigar. All right. And that, despite how it might look, and I think it's not bad, is a Cuban style roll that you just don't find anymore. It's an old school roll, and it makes this superior cigar, superior smoke. All right, I'll do another one, and then I might free roll another one. All right. It's a little bit difficult to do in this lighting. You want to do this during the sunny part of the day. But I've been known to sit down here, roll a cigar before I watch a movie, which is what I'm doing now. Go watch an old 40s movie, do some time traveling. If you guys are interested, you might want to be on my email list. I have a separate email list just for cigars. And you just need to message me either on Facebook, Instagram, somehow email me and give me your email address. Don't post it into YouTube, but and I will put you on my email list for cigar information. If you have questions, comments, topics, things you want to talk about, just let it rip. Now, I will tell everybody I make this look pretty easy, and it is not. To get an actual good-looking smokable cigar is something that takes many years of practice, and there's a lot of things I'm doing with my hands that specifically aid the process that you don't really see unless you know why I'm doing it. And so the only reason I tell you that is not to discourage you if you want to do this, but to encourage you to not be discouraged if you start doing this and it doesn't come out very good. Actually, rolling a cigar is a very simple thing. Making it quality and smokable time after time is a very, very difficult thing. To make sure everyone that comes off your table is smokable and good draw and good quality, good aesthetics. On the Durant book series, Daniel says, should they be read in order or do you have a preference? If you have the leisure and the ability and the patience to read them in order, they should be read in order. But there are 11 volumes. Some of it you may not find interesting. So it's better to keep reading than to give up because you're bored of something you're reading. I personally wanted to read them in order because I knew that This was a large chunk of a man and woman's life because he wrote it with Ariel Durant as well. And you want to, go through the whole process. But several of the volumes I have read twice, and because I find them more interesting. The one on Reformation, the Age of Reformation, is one I've read several times. So because of my cutter being a little dull, I got to sharpen it. This one got a little busted out at the bottom, but it's still perfectly good. And I did not put a triple cap on this one because this is going to be one I'm going to smoke tomorrow. A little ugly, not pretty. Best I can do in this light with this humidity. It is so humid. We've had so much rain. I'll take a break after this one, and I will smoke the one I rolled a minute ago. All right, so there's one that's kind of more professional looking with a triple cap on it. And then there's one with the curly head. Sitting in the box, those will look pretty nice. All right. If you got any questions or comments, anything you want to talk about, let it rip. This is all I'm doing is rolling cigars, so I don't have a topic. Unless you give me one. If you give me a topic, I'll run with it. Maybe. Good to see you guys here, though. Second video of the day. If you missed the first video, just go to YouTube or go to my blog at michaelbunker.com, and you can catch my first video, which was more of an update in what's going on in my world and the show and the coffee and the movie and all that, if you missed it. So this one, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a hole right there, here. So we're going to work around that. Still perfectly good leaf. And if for some reason it tears or I can't work around it, then this just becomes filler tobacco for another. All of these long pieces of long filler also become filler tobacco. What am I reading currently, or have you taken a break? I've taken a break. I'm still reading A Gentleman from Moscow because I haven't finished that book club yet. I just misplaced the book, and I haven't really looked that hard for it. So my finger got stuck. I got to find the book so I can finish it. And I'm always reading something history-wise. I'm reading a history of the 1920s jazz right now as well, which is a common topic for me. So this is when you discover that I rolled it backwards because the light is bad and I can't see which side of this is darker. And they're very close. Can you see which side of this is darker? And I rolled it, and I still can't see very well. I rolled it backwards. And you find out later because the veins are on the outside. Am I going to be nice to you after I become a big movie star? I will be as nice as I am now. So if you think that I'm nice now, then the answer is yes. I will be just as nice as I am now. A lot of people think that I'm not nice now, that I'm a not nice person. In which case, for those people, I will continue to not be nice, however you see it, but I don't plan on changing any. I don't know why I would, but I mean, I understand things change, whatever. If you haven't experienced something, then I guess you don't know what it's like. But I'm a pretty old man at this point. I don't imagine me changing. I can't hardly even see what I'm doing. This is basically me rolling blind. The shadows are right across my work. So I always like challenges, and life is resistance. Am I right? Am I right or am I right? And since life is resistance and I am without power and I'm using a battery light and it's late in the evening, then I am I am doing the best I can do. This will probably be the last one, though. Rolling in the dark. I don't sing. I told my wife all the time that if I could sing, I'd be hard to be around. She probably even gets tired of that joke. All right. Have you gotten any new success stories from the Bunk Fit series? I get a lot of success stories from people watching it. I just haven't added any more to it because of my own technological issues and timing issues. But I still have every intention of doing the Bunk Fit series channel more completely. All right. I really have to sharpen this cutter because it's mangling my cigar ends. But these will just be some I smoke over the next day or so. So they don't have to be beautiful. They just have to smoke great. What's up from Louisville, Kentucky? All right, brother. Brandon's here. Glad to see y'all. All right. So here we go. Nice little home roll. So that's what we did. I got two with the nice triple caps. One with a little curly Q because I'm going to smoke that one tomorrow. That's what we just did off the table. All right, if anybody has any questions, comments, any news on the movie, only news is that it's moving. Things are happening. They're spending some money. I don't know much of anything else. And so even if I did, they wouldn't let me say anything. So, but things are moving. They're moving, and which is good. I'm going to take a drink of my beer. All right. Questions, comments, topics, whatever you want to talk about. For rolling in the dark, they weren't too bad. I'll have to put this in my cigar rolling series. Rolling in the dark. These didn't turn out that bad. Of course, I would smoke them, and I will. They're not up to my normal beauty quality, but see, this one got a little rip on it. This one's going to get smoked pretty fast. We'll put that up in here. Do you think things will ever go back to the way they used to be before COVID? Not without a whole lot of loss. In other words, with the people that are, in my opinion, causing a lot of the problems that we have with the Bolshevikism and the Marxism that we have going on, I don't believe we're going to go back to any sense of normal so long as these people have any power or, as long as they're around. And so I think bad things are going to happen. I don't want bad things to happen, but I think bad things are going to happen. And one way or another, they'll all be taken care of, either by the Lord or by spiritual physics. But probably not going to be any great return to normal so long as these people see fear, manipulation, and power grabbing as a means of controlling other people. I don't want to light the lantern. It makes it hotter. It's warm already. I got a fan blowing on me. I have this fan. Some of you have seen them before. Ryobi fan with a Ryobi battery charged by solar power. That's what's going on right now. All right, I want to ask everybody to hit the like button. Make sure you go over to YouTube. Wait about 10 or 15 minutes after this is over. Hit refresh. And then hit the like button. Leave a comment. The comments that you have put heretofore don't count. You need to put comments on the finished videos. That's the only way that YouTube knows that people are actually watching the videos and that they like them, and they'll make recommendations to them for more. What is my opinion on marijuana legalization in Texas? I hope it happens rapidly, not for any personal reason other than I think the war on drugs has been a massive failure. I have not experienced a problem with people smoking marijuana any more than people drinking alcohol. And I think it's just time that we get the government out of all of these things. I probably would have a different opinion maybe on heroin, or I don't know. But as far as marijuana, it just needs to be legalized. We need to just get the government out of that business. They need to apologize and let everybody out of prison that's in there for small holding crimes. And instead of letting criminals out, they need to let people out that we're decriminalizing something, then they stop being criminals, right? So that's my opinion. It needs to be legal, and as soon as possible. We just need if we could fold a good part of the federal agencies that are involved in process crimes and crimes that are ridiculous, then we'd all be way better off. And so if we could get rid of things like the ATF and whoever it is that's focusing on marijuana, small people carrying an ounce or two or smoking little bits of marijuana, it's just ridiculous. That's just my opinion. Your mileage may vary. I tend to be, so I'm not a libertarian, but I tend to be mostly libertarian in my views on things like that, just because I just don't see any benefit. Not only that, I see tons of negatives. The war on drugs has been a ton of negatives. Not to mention the fact that the biggest drug dealer in the world is the U.S. government. Do you think the world will ever end up in an apocalyptic state? Yes, absolutely. Biblically and otherwise, it will absolutely end up that way. And I'm not saying it will end up that way, but it will be that way for some period of time. No doubt in my mind, every civilization has ended thusly, and this one just happens to be a globalist civilization. The empire is global, and so yeah, I think absolutely we're going to see complete, and I wouldn't even call it anarchy. I think we're going to see just lawlessness. You know, anarchy doesn't naturally mean lawlessness. Anarchy means that there's no formal system of government, but it doesn't mean that everybody's just killing everybody, everybody's stealing everything, which is going to happen. Those long, quiet moments while I'm puffing on a cigar are the best. So, reminders. Make sure that you need to put your name on my email list for cigars. If you're interested, just give me a message somehow through YouTube or through. Don't put your email on YouTube. Send it to me in a private message on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, and I will put you on the list. Make sure I get your email address. I do enjoy my cigar, that's for sure. It's a very peaceful thing. I don't inhale them, and I don't smoke a whole lot, and so it's just something I like to do in the evening. Agree with you, Nathan. Let's, if we're going to have some type of law enforcement, let's target those people towards crimes against children, crimes against property, actual crimes where there's a victim. All right, we're at 43 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and call it quits. I appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll do this some more. I did a show earlier. If you didn't catch it, come on to YouTube. Go back. Do like both videos today. Comment on both videos today. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit the bell icon and let them know that you want all of the notifications so you'll know when I go live in the future. When am I going to do an episode on angels and demons? I don't know. Remind me beforehand, and perhaps we'll do that at some point. I'm from New Zealand, Ben says, and I'm looking into growing my own tobacco and make my own cigars. Excellent. I think New Zealand would be a great place to grow tobacco. And I think you could make some superb cigars. That's a great place to grow a lot of things. All right. See you guys. Appreciate you guys tuning in. God bless you. I'll see you when I see you.